you asked for how you pronounce my name.
Yes.
So I'm curious on how you were pronouncing it until now.
Okay. So I have like 3 guesses, and don't tell me which one it is.
Yeah.
Until I tell you all 3.
Shoot it. Let's go.
The 3 pronunciations I had in my head were Changeline.
Okay.
Changeline.
Okay.
Changeline and Changeline. So
Okay.
I had 4 actually.
I was just thinking Changeline, like just really leading into the Frenchness of it, you know.
Oh my god, that's a good French accent, actually.
Oh,
Damn.
thank you. I had to go. I went to music school and learned like French and German and Italian, but you know, I had
that's
to do
why.
like 3 of them, so not like you know what I'm saying. I'm a fucking ain't fluent in this shit, but
And here's where we find out it's a 6th pronunciation we haven't said yet.
It's Shrangangalangalangala.
Dang it! I should have known.
oh, the C is silent. Ah,
The C is silent. The G is
freaking
silent.
French is.
Oh my god, fucking French people. No, actually, I'm okay with all the pronunciation you just said. It's just that how I like came up with that name. It was with my French accent, so it was Changeline. Changeline works, and people been calling me Change.
Like a changeling. Oh, I get
That's
it.
what I
Is that
figured
what
it
you were
was
going
based
for?
in.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Exactly.
I was thinking about doing the intro because it does involve French.
I know you wanted to do it so bad. If you want to go ahead and do the intro
Are you
with
gonna?
this cold ass intro that we've already started.
How the lyric goes, just to set it up, the lyric is like, Flash is fast, Flash is cool, Francois c'est pas Flash ain't no do.
What the
And
hell?
So that means nothing.
That doesn't.
yeah, I just want to get your raw reaction. Wait,
I'm reading the lyrics right now on Genius. That doesn't make. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh no.
okay, so what they put there, I think that's makes even less sense. I think Francois, I think they just heard soir and they think, oh, night, that must be what that means. I think it's Francois, like the name Francois.
Yeah, like the name, exactly.
Yeah.
So they are making a rhyme with like France soir, and soir is like the evening or like the night. But like, oh my god, Francois c'est pas Flash et nous deux. That doesn't make any sense. But that sounds cool.
I'm sure that's what they were just thinking. It sounds
Yeah.
cool. Let's just
That
do
sounds
that.
cool.
It's just fucking French. No, but what I think they're saying is Francois is like a common French name, right? Like every Tom, Dick, or Harry, that sort of thing. Where
Yeah.
it's like the average guy ain't like Flash and my friends and my crew.
Yeah.
Like Francois, ce n'est pas Flash et no do. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the
Okay.
average guy ain't like us, you know. That's what I think they're saying. And now that I've gotten, I'm so glad because I've gotten a French speaking person's like, you know, nod of approval. Like, wait a minute, that grammatically comes together now. So now when write my upcoming episode, I now have the official nod of approval. If you were to say what I think they're trying to say in French, I was going to take my pass at it doing the intro for the podcast. So, Fab Rap Critic says, everybody's fly, muse mouth spinning. I said, my, going off. Super cool, Changeline pas mal, aussi no do. It's the Going Off podcast.
Hey!
Let's go.
What's going on?
That was gas. I want to hear. Oh my god, I want to hear some sound effects on that, like boop 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 boop.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah,
They're all in
baby.
there.
You can have sound effects on Discord now. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh my fucking. You just did it?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god. Cause I've been on Discord calls where people were throwing random fucking porn sounds while you were talking to someone, and you're like, oh my god, what are you doing?
It's Going Off Podcast. Rap Critic, Muse, Changeline joining us on the call, on the pod this week. Interview, a chat segment in the making for, oh my god, when did I reach out to you originally? Because it was a long fucking time ago at this
Oh my
point,
god.
it feels
Yeah.
like.
I think it was a couple of months ago while I was working on the album. It's called I'm Looking at the Damn Ceiling Again. It's a long ass name. Yeah, you reached out, and I remember that you were not the only one reaching out, so that was surprising because like a couple of like radio and podcast messaged me at the same time. But yeah, It was a couple of months ago. Yeah, it was a couple of months ago, and I said to everyone, "I'm working. I cannot later."
RC and I have been doing this show for almost a decade at this point. And in that time, we've kind of seen the rise of like Bandcamp and the quote unquote like Bandcamp rappers and the SoundCloud rappers and stuff like that. So when we started it, it was SoundCloud, then Bandcamp showed up, and now you're the first person we've had on the show who, I don't know if you're mainly known from TikTok, but that's how I found you in the first place.
Most of the time it's TikTok. It's been TikTok for like the beginning of 2023, where I had like a little blow up with my song Octopus Lady that now everyone has heard.
Man,
if
that
they
shit was banging.
Yeah, everyone who comes up to me, if they are not French, they come up to me saying that they like this song, and if they are French, they come up to me saying that they like my other song that blew up like a couple of months after that. That is called Anarconas, with a very cool French accent.
I like that one too. Yeah.
You know what? You've sparked something, because really I have like a difficult relationship with TikTok, to be honest. So that's the place where I have the most followers. I have something like 45k or something right now, which been... I'm looking at this number and I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of people to fit in one room.
Yeah, exactly.
That is kind of crazy to think about, right? Like when you do something and you see the view count on it, it's like, I'll never probably see these people like in my eye line, but like
holy
that's how many
shit.
people are seeing this. Yeah.
Holy shit. Even though that's the place where I have the most following, it's not the place where I feel like it's not the most relevant place for me, at least as an artist, because TikTok has really something special in comparison with other social media, in the fact that you can blow up in like a day, but then completely disappear the next day.
The 15 minutes of fame has now like gotten literal.
It's crazy, and it's like, and I feel like you don't really get the sense of people following you on TikTok, because like when you start subscribing to someone, that doesn't mean you're gonna see every content they put out, because like you're on your FYP, so you're not really looking at everyone. Like if you're like subscribing to at least 10 people, and they produce content every day or every 2 days or every 3 days or even every week, you're gonna be full every day. So there's not much chance that you're gonna see all the things I've been making, even though you've been subscribed to me. So that's why I'm not really like, I don't feel like TikTok is that relevant for me as a way to connect to people who support me as an artist. It's more of a place where I saw that I could blow up there, and I blew up there. It's a tool. It's really just a tool, and it's like every time I put something on TikTok, I'm like, well, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Let's just see. And I don't even produce content a lot. Like I have some friends that produce content every fucking day on this platform, and I'm like, holy shit, how are you guys doing this?
Not good.
I've come across someone I've known you to work with in the past, Damage, who's also on TikTok, who I hope to someday get on the show also, is kind of in that same line. Like your TikTok is promoting music, kind of giving updates on songs you're working on, giving like, okay, here's how this beat's coming along, here's a little snippet. What I've been noticing more and more on Damages is like kind of leaning more into the TikTok, that kind of content.
She doesn't like just promote her music. She like does things every day. She hopes on trends and she see what's happening. I'm more into like, I use TikTok as just an outlet for my music, so I'm going to talk almost only about my music. Sometimes I do something different because I find something funny, but like I'm not a content creator.
Right.
I'm not a comedian.
Well, but I guess, but like, there's two ways, like the way you're describing it, it feels like there's the two ways to use the medium, right? There's well, I'm an artist, and through TikTok, I am going to tell you about my art, and then there's the people who are like, I'm on TikTok to engage with this medium and seeing like, oh, what's happening here? Let me do my version of that. Let me do my spin on that, right?
Yeah.
Like both are valid, right? Like
on TikTok, your content is everyone's content because everyone can do like stitches and stuff like this. Creating content for TikTok means you're creating for other people too.
It's got to be a double-edged sword because you're I would consider the first international guest we've had. Like we've talked to people who are in other countries at the time. Like we talked to Ari the Rugged Man when he was in Germany, but he's not from Germany, if you know what I mean. Like we talked to Rev, who's a very good close friend of the show, who is like Russian born, but, you know, lives in the States or in Europe. And it's a double-edged sword in the sense that, like, I living in the States, even though I fuck with your shit so fucking hard and I love your music and I listen to it a lot, I would never have noticed it or never have known about it if I didn't find your videos on TikTok in the first place. Like, music streaming sites don't really make it easy to discover new people.
Absolutely.
Especially outside the country. Like, you wouldn't know to look for it. When I originally found you on TikTok, it was originally a song promoting a song that's not on the new album. It's older than that. Called Natalie Mars.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew who that was.
Yeah.
You know. Those who know.
Those.
And if you know, you know.
That was a little tribute.
Like, I've seen people reference porn stars a good bit in music or whatever, but you never hear anyone shouting out trans porn stars. So that caught my attention, and I was like, oh shit. And the song was fucking fire, and it was like, oh shit, and it was like barely about like it real like I mentioned, like you even mentioned in the song of just like, I'm not really familiar with your work, but you seem cool.
Yeah, I mentioned her in the chorus, but then I just used that song as an opportunity to talk about people sexualizing me online, pretty much. So that's why I used her name.
I don't know if it was an EP or a full album, but you would know the name off the top of your head. I don't remember what it was called. It had this really freaky cover though. It was like this creature at the top of a staircase. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes, and the creature is me actually. Yeah. That's my very first. That's my very first album. It's a self-entitled album. It's just called Changeline.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because it's all like the weird spider legs is what tripped me out.
Is that's just you? Wait, what is?
Do you have those spider legs?
No, you're walking up to something though, right?
I actually have spider legs.
Yeah, there's two things. You're not the. Are you? I mean, wait a minute.
Yeah. There's two things. I remember. I had that.
That's the wild kind of bottom surgery we never hear about. Is the getting 6 legs attached.
Bro, new bottom surgery just dropped.
Yeah, they never bring it up. You know, they never tell you about these things.
No.
They never tell you about the legs that come out of your fucking back.
Yeah.
No, it was
hip to that shit.
It was a picture of me, and behind me there was this creature that was drawn by one of my best friends, by the way.
Saying the point of like, yeah, you could blow up 1 second and then be completely irrelevant in the next second. You know, what really, keeps you coming back? And I really do think, because all of this shit really is about connecting with human beings, right? I think the thing that brings anyone back is like, what does make you stand out, right? What makes the person go, hey, remember that person from yesterday? Yo, they made that really dope clip. Let me go check out what else they've got. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's, in this modern age, like, that's what's going to pull people, keep pulling people back. And, yeah, doing a fun little trend, that's nice. And, like, if you bring a uniqueness to it, that's you. Maybe that'll pull, you know what I'm saying, people to it. But it's like, I really do think at the end of the day, that's what people are looking for. You know, someone with a message, someone who's saying something that not necessarily they're getting from everywhere else. And I think, just listening to your, just a sampling of what we, we're going to be talking about today, or at least a little bit or whatever. I think you definitely got that. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Definitely for sure. Man, can I just tell you, Muse over here is throwing me, because I was like, oh, we're always trying to get some dope requests, dope guests, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh yeah, let me get this person, let me get that person. And then Muse is like, oh yeah, check out Changeline. And I'm like, okay, yeah, what's this person? Someone on TikTok.
Well, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay.
RC, always doubting my input.
What
RC,
the fuck is this?
we've been doing this for 9 years, and RC straight up says Muse tries to turn me on to this person, and my immediate thought is fuck them.
Who the fuck is this?
What the fuck is she now?
You know what? I can't even front. Because like now I've been having this moment today where I was like, oh my god, is this? It was like, wait a minute, is Muse coming for? Is Muse doing this thing? It's like, oh, you're gonna get someone dope? Okay, well let's check out this motherfucker. So like, are we having a dope artist off right now? It's like, oh, you got rap. Oh, okay, I'm gonna get over my giggle. Oh, you got over my giggle. Well, fuck you. I raised you a Changeline. You know what I mean?
It's true. We have been kind of trying to one up ourselves.
Oh my god, you guys are doing fucking poker games.
Look,
I didn't even realize that until now, but yeah, maybe I haven't read into it as much. But yeah, maybe that is a subconscious thing of just like, oh, you know, I always got to stay on top. I got to stay one step ahead of RC.
Yeah.
Who's this asshole gonna bring next time? You know,
Yeah.
Because some of these songs I was listening to were so it was like one of those things where I was like, all right, let me just take a listen, you know, and sight unseen, you don't know what's gonna be. And it was like really high energy. I was like, all right, I'm getting MC Chris energy, okay. Like,
yeah.
You know, how am I feeling about it though? And then, but you know when someone ratchets to that like energy where it gets like the fucking, it doesn't matter what the fuck you're saying, this is so fucking cool, it doesn't matter. And that, like, so I was listening on Spotify. By the time I got to track 2, Octopus Lady, I was fucking rocking with you. So it was just like, okay.
Well, thank you so much.
Good hands.
Thank you so much.
Definitely dope.
I feel like to brag, like, I don't know if it's gonna be a brag, but to brag like a little bit in a way, I feel like in terms of how I do my promotion on TikTok and stuff, I've been really out of what is usually done for a music artist, because most of the time people who blow up on TikTok, they are just starting a trend with a part of their music. And me, it's never that. It's just like I did a video where like I look all goofy and stuff while saying my lines, and people are like, "Oh my god, this energy!" But they don't especially start a trend over it. So that's why I've been like feeling like, yeah, I don't know. It's like it relates with all the things you just said. Like it's the energy. So I'm glad that people can connect to my energy, I guess.
Yeah, I think that was what caught my attention in the first place, was the energy and the extremely unique delivery. So I was honestly in the back of my head very curious about how the call was going to go. Like, oh, I wonder if this is going to sound like the same as on the album. You know, like I honestly didn't know what to expect, even though
the walls on these
bouncing.
But you are right. A lot of the people that I do find on TikTok that are musicians and they're trying to promote their stuff, it's typically like, off the top of my head, Hello Christ, I'm about to sin again. That one became really big. And it's like,
yeah,
they do like a whole bunch of videos with the same sound.
The same parts.
I don't want to say
yeah.
it's a gimmick. It's a, okay, so you know how like in Jamaican like culture, it's like we're using a similar backbeat, but there'll be like 80 million songs that are all kind of using similar backbeat.
Yeah.
I feel like TikTok is kind of like just the evolved version of that, because
Yeah,
now
right.
there'll be a joke involved, or this involved, or a challenge. Yeah, it's like, so
For
we're
real.
using different rhythms. You know what I mean?
But on the flip side of that, what I remember was when you first posted a video about like the very origins of what would eventually be What I Want, but it was just in such small parts, and you're just kind of just like, I took this and I put this, and it's like, and this sounded cool, so I put this here. So in that moment of like when I was listening to the album and that song came up, it was like genuinely like, oh shit, here it is, because like I wasn't like looking at my phone at the moment, so I didn't know what was coming next. But then when the song started, it was like, oh shit, here it is in full. Like I finally get to hear. So there's like a moment of just like all that kind of build up, kind of like, here it is, finally you could hear it all in one go.
That's cool.
So that like those update videos really do a lot more to drum up a song and drum up anticipation, I think, than like what we were talking about before. A lot of people are just like, here's the hook in 50 videos, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But I never drop like those like kind of behind the scenes video. I never drop them. I never tease my songs. I never say what I'm working on. Like most of the time I don't like put snippet out, or when I do it, it's really like because I have a part where I'm like, oh, this is going to be so cool. I want people to listen to it before it drops. But I always, and that's also something that I've been doing different from other people. And like other people, I'm not like judging anyone, you know. But yeah, I don't tease my song. I just like put my song out, and then I'm gonna do like a little video around it, like a behind the scene or stuff like this, and I'll see how people fuck with it. But yeah, this one was exactly the same. But I'm so glad that you had this reaction when it came up in the album. Like I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that because it has a big story. This song, this 1 minute and 50 seconds song has a big story.
Yeah, it is a short one. The build-up and the anticipation kind of gives you a more personal attachment to it because you've kind of like seen it grow, which gives you more of an appreciation for it. Yeah, you reminded me just in that I forget, because I'm just really bad with titles, so don't take it personal. But there's a song where at the very beginning you specifically say like, this is a very personal story, so please listen closely to the lyrics. Like you have to sit the listener aside like, okay, this one's important, so you might want to actually pay attention to this one. I forget which one that was.
Listen closely to the message. Wait, was that like an Eminem track where he's like, listen closely to the words that are in this song?
Yeah. that's a bit of an Eminem like gimmick. I remember saying that on Slender Body and on I Like It Raw too. On I Like It Raw, it's a joke because I say like, oh, the lyrics are very important, and then the lyrics are just stupid. So this one is a joke. But on Slender Body, I was really warning people about the fact that I was about to say some dip stuff. Oh, or Not Cis.
I love the Not Cis video too. That was great.
Oh, I can't wait to fucking play this one live with people being not cis in the audience and other people being cis and being like, oh my god, we don't fuck with this one.
I would fucking love the chance to fucking shout along to that fucking chorus.
Yes!
Absolutely.
Yes! That's what I want.
We insist. That'd be so fucking hot. Yeah.
That's what I want.
So if you're ever in the States.
I hope so. I hope so one day. Actually, it's getting maybe
really
next year, maybe maybe not for shows. I don't know, except if I really blow up fast, but I might at least come to the US next
that's cool
year because I want to see a bunch of people and because I want to see your country. While I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little scared of your country.
I mean, there's plenty of reasons.
We don't bite.
I mean, we don't, but
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess
it's not us to be afraid of.
Well, we gotta send you like a green book of sorts to tell you which parts of the states to not go to. As soon as it gets a little hilly, maybe stay away from the mountainous areas.
My God, I have a friend from LA who said to me like, okay, well, definitely come, but don't go to this state and don't go to this one and don't go to this one, and this one might be cool, but be careful though.
it's not. There's no immediate danger, but don't just hang out. Like you can't just hang out.
Yeah. Be careful. Be careful.
I'm trying not to sound insensitive here, but it's just the way the American news shit works is that I think it was either right around the time I'd first reached out or maybe a little bit after that is when we first started seeing the riots in France.
Oh, it was at the same time? Oh, maybe.
I think it was around that same time or maybe a little bit after. And it was one of those things like I saw that and just like as an outsider almost kind of felt like you didn't know how big of a scope, like how big that really was, because we stopped hearing about it so quick afterwards too, because the news cycle just updates and cycles so quickly.
Yeah.
So it's like I just got this picture of just like, how's Changeline working on this stuff with all the riots going on? It's like it probably wasn't as big of a deal as like it was presented by our media.
Oh shit. I had some people, some non-French people asking me the same question at the same time. Like I had people on Discord being like, oh wait, you're French? And I was like, yes. And they were like, oh my God, is there a fire near your area or something? and you know what? Like, funny enough, it was the case for one day.
Really?
Like, it was the case. It was like a little far away from where I actually live.
Oh shit.
But I know that it was there and I've been hearing some stuff. But I mean, like this specific time, it's been covered by international media. But to be honest, we've been rioting since the beginning of ages in France, like every year.
Damn.
It's just that this year specifically is fucking shit because we have a really, really, really bad president, and we've been having bad presidents for years now. But this one, goddamn.
It's like the way you just described that. You're like, it's like, oh, is there a fire over there? I mean, there's a fire, but it's not that big. And I feel like
big of a fire.
That is the way, like
describe
all of our
fire.
Yeah, I feel like that is the way all of our situations are to everyone else, like on the other side of their situations. You know what I mean? It's just like everyone's seeing the stereotype of what is happening in that country, because it's like from far away, and it's like, wow, it's not that bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's like.
The first time I met someone from the US, I was like, oh my God, did you get shot one day? Like, I swear to God, I asked that.
And that's a fair question.
Yeah, how many schools have been shot up since 1999, and it's just like, I've literally never been at a school that has been shot up. That has literally never happened.
Yeah, that's still a minority of events. But you have this cliche in your head where you're like, well, people down the street are walking with fucking rifles in the US.
There was a school in my state that had a shooting just yesterday and had another one today. So that's a fair question to have two in a 24-hour period. It's wild, but it is one of those things where whenever you hear it, it's always depressing and sad, but it's you do kind of get a sad numbness that after a while it's you become less and less surprised by it, which is just terrible.
Yeah.
But you had mentioned, and I mean, we can definitely relate to shitty presidents because even the good ones are bad. But over here, like, I don't think we've ever had a good one.
It reminds me of a meme I saw, an absolute like cursed meme where it's like Obama shaking hands with Kendrick, and the caption says like, okay, music apart, who dropped the more bombs? And I was like, holy fuck! Yo!
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We all knew what it was when they had all the rappers Pusha T and so-and-so coming up into the White House. Oh, sure, we're definitely going to get some reforms done for black people. It's definitely not just a nice photo op.
Oh, my God.
I haven't been able to find it anywhere because I don't know if it was recorded, which is weird that you'd think it would be. But there was a performance at the White House. Kendrick performed and Janelle Monáe performed. I watched a live stream of it the day of.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking cool. But yeah, you do kind of get the sense of, because you still hear people talk about year after year, like he hasn't been president since 2015, 2016. But Obama still puts out those, like, year-end, like, here's all the songs from the years I liked. And people still like, oh, shit, look, Obama's listening to Lizzo. And it's like, who fucking cares?
You guys still
what
like
Obama's
me, right?
listening to? It doesn't fucking matter.
The fact that I'm doing this is part of the PR campaign to keep you liking me. Don't think about that, though.
Hey, I fuck with the latest Cardi album.
He's listening to bongos. He's like, hey, do you think bongos was as good as WAP? It's like, Obama, this is not your discussion to have.
Yeah.
Whenever I see, especially the new video you had dropped this week, the visuals in it, I was so impressed by those.
The Just a Daydream one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I have one, and I have actually a little heads up, but I have another one that I think just dropped because I'm not the one handling it.
Oh my God, I really like that.
Oh shit!
Check out the fucking video for that one because the Just a Daydream was definitely a bop for me. Hold on.
That video is a fucking trip, dude. Yeah,
no, the other
definitely
one,
check that out.
The other one didn't drop yet, but it's supposed to drop in like 10 or 15 minutes, I think, something like that.
Shit. Okay. Oh fuck. Yeah. So it'll definitely be up by the time the episode goes
Big
up
news.
this weekend.
Big news.
Oh shit. You heard it here first.
You heard it first.
Here first, folks.
Well, I'm glad you liked the visuals. We really worked hard on this one.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. Even when you post videos on TikTok that are just like updates, the scenery and just how everything looks is always so like breathtaking and striking. How do y'all scope the locations and like who all do you work with to make that video? And I guess the video that's going to come out in 15 minutes.
Most of the time I work alone on videos on TikTok and stuff like this. And they look great because I have a great camera and I have like 4 to 5 years experiences on the cinema industry and the video industry. So that's why
shit, okay.
That's why I know my shit.
That shit look good.
You can tell.
Yeah.
But for the Just a Daydream one, so it was so it's a friend of mine that I met, I think last year, something like this, that told me at some point, hey yo, my best friend just bought a red camera. I don't know if you know what a red camera is, but it's pretty much like a very professional cinema camera that you can see.
It's like TV quality, movie quality.
It's even Hollywood quality at that point.
Oh shit! Wow. Okay.
He bought it like half the price to his old job or something like this. Well, that was like a really big opportunity. So he said to me like, hey, yo, we got this red camera. We want to shoot stuff with it. So if you're down, we can do a music video together. And because we want to practice with the camera and you don't have to pay anything and everything. And I was like, no, I'm definitely going to pay you because I really insist on paying everyone that works for me, or at least like pay for their food for the day or something, anything. I don't want people to work for free for me. They were like, no, really, we don't want to. So yeah, I accepted to like not pay a lot to have the opportunity to shoot on a red camera. That wasn't the first time that I could shoot on a red camera because I've been on sets with other kind of cameras from Reds, but that was the first time that I was shooting something for me with this type of camera. And so what's funny is that I had first a song that was supposed to be on the album that I sent him, and that if he found very good, but I grew like I liked it at first, but then I got bored of this song and I was like, no, it's not gonna be on the album, it's not good enough. And then I think Just a Daydream was like, I think the second or third song that I did from the album. And when I finished it, I was like, or when I was like close to finish it, I was like, damn, it is so cinematic. The first time I heard the beat, the little guitar in the beat, I was like, oh my God, I imagine a scene already. Like, and when it happens with like songs and with like, if it's like from my own beats or if it's on other people's beats, when I imagine a scene right away, when I hear the beat, that means I'm gonna shoot a music video for it. So yeah, I had it in mind when I started working on the song, and then when I finished it, I reached out to my friends and we were like, okay, I'm working on the album, so writing a music video right now is going to be a bit difficult. Most of the time I direct every one of my videos, but this specific time I was like, okay, I'm going to let you do it for me, and I'm going to try to step out from the director's chair, for a little bit and just be Changeline, I guess. And I ended up being a little bit of a director on set because I couldn't really stop myself from doing it. But yeah, and then we shot, so we started writing it in something like June, I think. And we shot it at the end of August, and it dropped like 2 weeks after we shot it. Something
so
like
just
this.
to ask you, you wrote like the storyboarding for me. When you said like you wrote the music video, is that what you mean?
Yeah, we wrote. So they wrote the script, like the overall idea, or the overall story behind it. They did the storyboards. I added some ideas of shots because they were stuck on some parts of the song. They were like, I don't see what we can do there. And I was like, don't worry, I can do the storyboard for this one. So I did the storyboard for like the chorus, the first chorus, I think. We scouted some locations. I was supposed to go on vacation in the mountain during August, and they said, hey yo, that would be so cool to have some shots in the mountains, but I couldn't take the camera with me, obviously, so I took mine. So the few shots that you see, yeah, that's a funny little story, but the few shots that you see in the music video that are in the mountain, they are not from the same camera. They are from my camera, which is a pretty good camera. It's a Blackmagic 4K. It's a really good one. But like, yeah, I've put a lot of efforts in post-production to make them look like they are as good quality as the other footage.
I was having a hard time trying to figure out if they were green screen shots or if they were all on location shots.
Yeah, people have been saying like, yeah, were you on green screen? And I was like, no, we didn't use any green screen.
Wow. Holy
yeah,
shit.
It does look like it's like that. It's one of those, you know how when you see a practical effect in a movie and you have that moment of like, what? That can't be. Oh, that
is
really
that
happening? Yeah.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
Is this the shot specifically when you go from like mountains to a cemetery to a field, like, because you're staying in the same spot and it's just like changing around you?
Yeah.
That I could have swore
that it was a green screen
shot.
Well, no.
That's incredible.
No green screen.
Wow.
No green screen. Just being on locations.
That is nuts. Yeah, that fucking video is beautiful. Props to everybody who worked on that shit. It looks incredible.
I'm gonna say it to them because they're gonna be fucking happy. We were like just 4 on set, so it was really a small team with just a big camera.
Yeah, wow.
And the shot in the room was like my room that we completely turned over and turned it to a fucking studio. We redid like all the setup, all the little decorations and everything. And the other one is gonna be not on my YouTube channel, but on the YouTube channel of someone called Crybox, who's been a really big supporter of mine, and who's like a music promoter. And he's been so supportive. I was supposed to, like, before, when I was a little artist, I was paying to be on his channel at the very beginning for like some songs to get promoted, but very quickly he was like, no, you're very cool, don't pay for you can be on my channel every time you want. And he's been so fucking nice for that. So that's why I've been putting a couple of music videos on his channel, because I really like what he does.
Yeah, and I noticed the Not Cis video is on the Crybox page. It's how the name rung a bell. So it's like, I've definitely heard of that before.
It is. And yeah, the next one, so it's a music video for my song Overthinking Again.
Oh,
and
shit. Okay.
This one, okay, I really want to brag about it because that's cool.
Go ahead.
But like,
Go off.
I shot it, edited it, and did everything myself on this one.
Oh shit! Okay, sick.
And that's the first time I did this, because like most of the time I have like a small crew of friends to shoot my videos, but this time I was like, hey yo, I just bought a big camera. I am supposed to go all over France during my kind of vacations, because like even when I'm in vacation, I'm always working on my music. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna shoot things. I'm gonna write like a little story and I'm gonna shoot things. Yeah. So I hope you will like it. I'm like, for some people who saw it before it dropped, said that you can feel my style of directing on it more than on the Just a Daydream one, which is like a good compliment, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm
got a style.
I got a style. I got a little style. It's getting there. So I'm really happy with
it.
it.
Like a recognizable style. You know what I'm saying? It's that specific, like, ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're getting my, Spike Lee,
yeah,
people walking straight sort of moment thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got something with large shots mainly. People are recognizing the large shot I do. You can see it in the Just a Daydream video, like all the large shot that you can see. That's like me saying, I want large shots. I don't want just me performing.
I gotta ask before we wrap up here. You had mentioned that you have lots of experience in cinematography and all that. Does that predate the music? Like, which came first? Were you working in film and everything first, or were you writing and making music first?
No, that definitely predates the music. I've always thought that I wouldn't be good at making music, but the thing is, I started making music as an outlet to direct music videos because I didn't have any artist around me or any friend that would do the music that I like. So at some point, when COVID started, I was like, hey, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna do my own shit.
Hell yeah!
Fuck this. I'm gonna do my music that I like. And it was shitty at first, but now we got there. And like I was like, I'm gonna do my music. I'm gonna do my shit, and I'm gonna do my music videos around it. So that was just like that was just I did it for the music videos because I was working. I've been
true
working
MTV spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
For the music videos.
Exactly. I was working in videos and like films for like 2 years before I started making music, or even a little more if you count like my film school years, because that can count. So I've been in it for like four years before I started making music, something like this.
In one of the songs, I think it's a skit. Yeah, there's like a quick skit in the newest album where you say like, I'm fighting giants that don't even know they're hurting me.
Oh my God, you remember that? Oh shit. Okay.
I'm just that type of guy.
I expected no one to listen to the messages in the album, and when people say, "Hey, you've been saying this," I'm like, "Oh my God, you actually listened to the album."
you forget I'm the rap critic.
Yeah, that's RC's whole bag.
Yeah, that's all your shit.
But yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, what put you in the space to record that, like, in the headspace to say what you were saying at that moment, because it really felt like something was going on.
Yeah, wow, that's the whole story of the album, to be honest. But like, I wanted to have people I think find this a little annoying in album and mixtapes and stuff, where the moments where like the artist is just talking and not doing much more. Me, I love those kind of stuff. I don't know why. And I wanted, since the album is pretty like storytelling, it kind of tells a little story. I wanted to have those messages all across the album. And it started with the one that you hear at the very end after Not That Bad, which is not me talking. It's one of my best friends talking. And from there, I was like, okay, I'm going to have like a little story of me talking what I'm going through like mentally, and what I wanted to talk about mentally throughout this album. But like it wasn't like scripted, the messages, because it wouldn't be too like authentic in a way. Like it was pretty like me having some notes of what I wanted to say in those messages and just talking to the mic and seeing if I could come up with something good. And but I was trying to portray someone who is talking to herself while laying on the floor looking at the ceiling, like the album title implies. So that's literally a person who's talking to the ceiling and who is like, yo, you're my friend. Actually.
So it's a 4D meta sort of storytelling where it's like, I'm talking about my life, but I'm also just telling the story of a person who would be doing this. So, yeah, the Giants to fight one that you remembered is like me talking pretty much about my social anxiety, and also the fact that I feel like as a little artist that comes from nothing at all, like I don't have a family that's been in art or anything like that, I feel like I have giants to fight because I have, like, it's like I have mountain to climb, It's like, bro, I'm starting from the bottom, now we're here. Yeah. So that's the little story behind the messages. And I hope they are all understandable, because I really treated them sonically like in a lo-fi way, as if like it's from an old recorder, like an old cassette recorder.
Yeah.
So I think that some parts aren't really clear. So yeah, if people ever ask, I'll be like, oh yeah, I think I say this.
And okay, so the way you just kind of made that point of like, well, it wasn't 100%, like it wasn't like this is in my journal 100% a thought that I fully had. I think this is an interesting thing that like continually happens with listener and artist, right? Where like a listener, we have no idea what percentage of this was planned or whatever. Yeah, so when we're listening, we're assuming that you've got a plan for this, so it's just like, well, where was that going? What did that mean? But on the artist side, there is that sort of level of like, not fucking with people, but just a sort of like, I want to see what you're gonna take from this if I did this. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's an interesting interplay, right? Where it's like, it's like I want to. Sometimes the artist wants to say something. Sometimes the artist wants to just put this vibe out and see how that hits people. And like sometimes people listening are like they're digging so deep into the meaning, and then other times people are just like it doesn't matter what they're saying. That just is a fucking vibe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just interesting how
for real. And I'm really a straightforward artist, to be honest. If you look at my lyrics and stuff, they may be like a little weird sometimes, but if you ask me specifically about any line I've written, I think I can give you a specific meaning. I'm not that kind of artist who leaves things to interpretation. I'm too artistic for that.
I get you. You're like, no, like I was thinking of something when I wrote that shit.
yeah, exactly, for real. Even the corniest, even the weird ass line that you can hear in Octopus Lady, I think I can say what the meaning is behind that.
It's like a Ghostface Killer thing, where he'll be like,
oh my god,
like,
yeah,
he'll be like, not 100% of those lines maybe like make sense to people, but it made sense in the moment when I wrote it to express what I was trying to express. So
and sometimes I reread my lyrics and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I wrote this. This is so fucking stupid, but yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I remember.
You know what's interesting? There's I was just listening to podcasts about like books, and they were talking about like noir novels, and they talk about how sometimes they'll use words to describe things that aren't necessarily like giving you the picture clearly, but it's to give you the emotional reality of what the character is dealing with. So it's like, you have this hard-bitten detective running through the streets trying to like find this one guy, and then like he'll describe like, oh, and then two hammers, hit the brick building besides me. And it's like, that doesn't necessarily make sense. Two hammers, like what are you talking about? Two hammers in it? Oh, you're probably talking about bullets. But in the moment, when you hear gunfire, you don't think about what bullets sound like. You think, why does it sound like someone just threw two hammers? Because that, you know what I'm saying? Like that sort of thing. So like, getting the emotional reality of a moment. Yeah, that's so cool. And I've been someone, I don't remember the name of this person, but someone said that they listened to the album, like in the entire album with the lyrics, while reading the lyrics, and they were like, hey yo, I didn't understand everything, but I cried at the end, so I guess that's good.
So it worked.
Look, like a great movie quote once said, I don't know what the fuck you just said, little kid, but you special, man, because you reached out and you touched a brother's heart.
Changeline, thank you so much for spending your time with us. I'm looking at the damn ceiling again. It is the new album.
God damn, it is out.
You can check it out on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Amazon Music. New music video for Just a Daydream is on YouTube, and there's going to be another one very soon. Definitely by the time this episode goes up.
I hope this album can help some people, if it can help some people. And like, I'll come back to some corny stuff, don't worry. Don't worry.
We're back on the goofy shit in no time.
I'm coming back with the goofy shit. Just before I go, I wanted to say something to you. Well, thanks for having me first, because that was such a good moment. Time flew for real. But I wanted to say before, just a little thing, like a little funny thing. I wanted to say that before I. When you messaged me, I went through a couple of episodes of your podcasts, and like last week, I think I listened to the one talking about the Eminem beef with, I don't remember who.
Oh, Moby.
Moby. And I want to say, all the first parts of you two talking shit about Eminem, I had to pause at some point because I was like, okay, I agree with everything you said. It's just like you were speaking bars on bars on bars. And that was a moment for me where I was like, whoa, those persons are intense and I love it. So I'm going to end on that. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to...
From the mouths of an audience member, going off crew, don't go easy.
Well, now I know next time we invite you on, we'll have to just have a just shoot the shit segment, just talking about whatever the fuck.
We can shoot the shit or whatever the fuck. I'll be happy to do that with you.
That's awesome. I'll definitely stay in touch, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for spending your time, and I really hope everybody listening checks out the album because it's fucking fantastic, and it was well worth the wait.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna go to bed.
Go the fuck to bed. Have a good night, Changeline.
Have a good night. Bye.
RC, last night, dare I say,
A DJ save your life?
music's biggest night. Da-da-da-da-da-da. The MTV.
Who dares?
Da-da-da-da-da-da. VMAs. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. RC, I actually watched some of it live for once. In years past, it feels like they got a lot of the awards out of the way before the show even starts. So the show itself is like mainly performances. That was pretty much the case this year. But by the time I went to bed, so few awards were actually given out that it's just like they waited, I guess, until the end of the show to just do like all the fucking awards. But I'm very curious what of last night you actually did get a chance to check out, and we can compare notes. I don't have any notes, but we can compare our opinions.
So I just saw the hip hop related stuff. You know, I just scoped those clips out. I saw the bongos video. Well, at first I saw the music video, and then I saw it live. Just to give my initial take on just the song itself. It's like, yeah, you know, it really does feel like this is the Ghostbusters 2, you know, it's a sequel to WAP, you know, WAP harder, but it's like, is it whopping harder? And the thing is like, lyrically, I feel like it's actually not that bad, but it's not like, it doesn't feel like a hit to me, because I'm like, wait, what's the catchy part again? You know, like...
It didn't have that really fun energy between Cardi and Megan that WAP had.
And like Pussy Tight Like a Nun, like that was a good opener, but I was like, where's the hook, you know?
The Gobble Me Swallow Me part is still unmatched. Like, we're never gonna see that type
Gobble Me Swallow Me dripped down the side of me. Oh god, the imagery.
The goddamn, I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring, Gobble Me Swallow Me, the handoff is still so fucking good. And there was nothing in Bongos that they even came close.
Yeah, it really did feel like it was like Cardi B's song for like half of it, and then, oh hey, and Megan's here. And it's like, it didn't even have that like cool feel of a, you know, Method Man, Redman passing off verse to verse. It really did feel like they were in two different rooms, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, I still like it, but the performance itself was just kind of okay, I thought.
Yeah, it was cool. These huge hats and stuff, you know, I like the costumes, you know what I'm saying? They're fun.
Sure.
Let me see what else I liked. Oh, yeah, okay, so we gotta talk about Nicki Minaj.
Okay, yeah, we do.
So, this fucking safe for the charts single that she drops, first of all, you know what I'm saying? Like, this nothing burger of a song. I was like, I couldn't believe my ears when I was listening to it. I was like, what? Is it 2011 and she's like a new artist who's, you know, hoping to make a hit song that's just about generic love and shit to try to like really? You're not, you know what I mean? I was like, what is this?
I liked it for what it was. I thought it was a sweet sounding song, but it's, like,
it's cool.
It's not, like, I've went on record to say in the past that my favorite Nicki shit is the fun rap stuff, not necessarily.
Right, I'm not here for the you see right through me. You can keep that, you know.
Yeah.
like,
Have I told you that you're the illest? That's what I never really cared. Die hard like Bruce Willis. Yeah, I never cared for the sing-songy Nicki. Romantic. But I thought the song Last Night was sweet. But then hey, it's the VMAs. I gotta give y'all a taste of what's coming down the pike, y'all. I gotta give you an exclusive. And boy, did she give us an exclusive of,
some exclusive nonsense.
Exactly what we would expect from a new Nicki single. Man.
Yeah, okay, can I tell you, this song just sounds like a placeholder for a diss track. Like, here's the general lyrics for me dissing someone, and then we'll fill in the sub disses of who I'm talking about later. The specifics, we'll fill that in later. But I'm like, listening to it, I'm like, what is she actually saying? Like, even as a Bitch I'm Back single, it doesn't even hit, because it's like, there's no punchlines or anything. Like, she's going like, these bitches ain't better than me. I said these bitches ain't better than me. You said you look up to her, but you look up to me. And I'm like, that's not a punchline. You're just saying the same thing. It's like, I'm great. I said I'm great. Like,
there's definitely, like, if... That's a song she could have recorded and released if she'd been away for a while, you know?
Right, yeah,
But the fact that, I mean, just last night she got an award for Super Freaky Girl. Like, that was the big return single anyway.
Right, yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know about you, but I fuck with Super Freaky Girl hardcore. Like, I love that fucking song.
It's definitely, like, next to Anaconda. Honestly, I'd probably put it above Anaconda. Man. Now I'm thinking about it.
Even though I do really like Anaconda, too.
That Rick James sample, man. You can't front on it.
Yeah, no. And the fucking...
Eat it up. You want to eat cake. Eat it up. That hits.
The fucking chorus is so goddamn good. F-R-E-A-K. It's so good.
Yeah, there you go.
So I love that. But we got that. We had Queen, which was such a dud. And
yeah, man.
It's like Britney. Well, I'm thinking of something else now. Nicki hadn't been away long enough to merit the just coming back with, again, like these bitches are my sons. They're my kids. Like, we still doing that? Yeah, we're still doing that. They look up to me. Like, okay.
And the thing is, it's like, if you're gonna do that, you've got to heighten it, right? What you got to do the next line that's actually, oh my God, she's got it once again. But it was just another line. Like, that was what was confusing. Yeah, later on, she does. So there's the hip hop honors part.
Yeah, I was about to say we need to talk about the hip hop honors thing because she got a huge fucking pop. But before we get to Nicki,
okay,
it opens with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. And that crowd had no idea who the fuck they were.
Yeah.
And they were just doing come on, make some noise, put your hands up. And they're just like, yeah, okay.
And it's one of those things where it's like, it's like, with rap, it's like, you're either on the beat or you're off the beat, and it's awkward, and people can hear it, you know, and it's like these older men, and they're trying to stay on the beat, and I can hear Grandmaster Flash, like, trying to cut it up in a way where it's like, oh, they're a little off, but I'm trying to save him by, like, doing some stuff. Like, so I can hear Grandmaster Flash, you know, trying to save the old men up there, but, like, you can kind of feel the sort of, like, energy's not quite right, gentlemen.
It's also like, weird to hear them all trying to sing in unison like they're a fucking boy band, like...
Yeah, when they started off trying to do the different poses, and Melly Mel, like, clearly the only one who's still, like, you know, in relative good shape, you know, flexing as hard as possible. This is my 10 seconds on the camera this year.
So they do their shit for, like, a minute. Then they toss it over to Dougie Fresh and goddamn
Slick Rick.
Looking yeah, his
just
name is
cozy in the fucking, you know, Knives Out sweater. You know what I mean? Like,
I loved his fucking the hat and matching eye patch.
Yeah!
It's very cool. He was swagged out crazy. Dougie Fresh, you know, I'm not really popping for him, unfortunately. But Slick Rick, I was not expecting, so that was a cool little surprise. The audience was a bit more excited to see them than they were the Furious 5.
People were like, oh, I recognize the eye patch guy. I recognize that one.
Then Nicki comes out.
Okay, so we gotta talk, all right? this was clearly supposed to be let's show some love to the female artists that have paved the way, and all we got was Nicki. Like,
we got Nicki, but we're gonna have her do her songs from her mixtapes before she got really big, and the crowd popped huge. Like, shit, she's doing a fucking throwback. That's awesome.
But at the same time, I'm like, but all the other guys are doing, like, their hit songs, the songs, like, A Milli. Like, Lil Wayne is doing A Milli. Oh, that's an iconic freestyle song. That's a part of the fabric of hip-hop at this point. Like, Itty Bitty Piggy wasn't exactly a... You know what I'm saying? That wasn't, like, what you would call her contribution to hip-hop, you know? Like,
no, and I also think the jump between Slick Rick and Nicki Minaj really overlooks a long stretch of time.
Right. We went from late 80s to 2009.
They do make up for it after she performs and Lil Wayne comes out and he does his thing like you mentioned. Because then immediately from there,
really cool.
we go to LL Cool J.
He does one of his raps, and then he flips into a Run DMC joint with DMC.
Yeah, he does Mama Said Knock You Out.
Where's Run?
Yeah, I like how they specifically said 1/3 of Run DMC. It's like, well, I know one of them's dead, so you don't need to say that.
Yeah, right.
You
There's two of us, but we're not the Beatles.
Yeah, like, what the hell are you doing? So him and LL Cool J go back and forth. Then they break into Walk This Way, which they treat like the biggest rap song of all time.
It's so hard to Google, is Run okay? Is Run for Run DMC sick?
Is
like, you
Run
know,
okay? Where is
that's
Rev
a hard
Run?
one to Google. Yeah.
Because they do the thing, and I love when they do this for when it's rock tributes. Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne, Steve Winwood, Donnie Harrison, and Prince perform While My Guitar Gently Weeps as part of a tribute to George Harrison at the 2004 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they're all up there, and they're all doing their parts, and it's so fucking sick. Or another one that comes to mind is when Patti Smith and Bruce Springsteen and Bono sang Because the Night. It was like, holy shit. This is amazing. You got these big, huge musicians in one place, and then here we got them going into Walk This Way, and just kind of everyone comes out on stage and they get the huge pop because you see all of them at the same time, and then you just have Wayne just kind of just in the background going Walk This Way, and they're all just kind of standing there awkwardly. And then it just kind of ends. Just, because, like, it ends with Nicki just kind of staring at the audience. Nobody really knew what to do.
Going back to Nicki, what was the song they played for her? Ruby Red the Sleaze?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was trying to figure. I was like, really? Like, these are the iconic Nicki songs? Like that's not, like I said... That's not even the big hit from the last year. Yeah, like...
She should have came out and did the Monsterverse, maybe?
Right. And then done maybe the Barbie song, because that's like the biggest thing right now. You know what I mean? Or like I said, the freaky, super freaky girl or Barbie. You had two recent ones that you could have gone with. You know what I mean?
And she didn't end up doing either of them. I thought she would have done some of that with her own solo performance, but no, we didn't get any of that. There was a few moments like that too, where we were just kind of awkward.
So it just felt like Nicki Minaj's part, you know, we're just like, okay, she's promoting her album, but the only thing she does is slowly takes off that curtain, you know, and goes like, look, I'm wearing a negligee thing underneath, you know. It's kind of like, okay. And then later on she comes in with the devil twists and kind of like rapping slightly slow, and then she randomly asks like, "Where's Jay-Z at?" And I was like, "Okay."
I was like, "Oh, like, are you gonna do a song that like y'all did together? Like, what's the reference
she was about
there?"
To, like, about to twerk on him or something. Like, you know what I mean? I thought it was about to be like, "Oh, are we doing this right now?" Like, I thought she was doing like, I'm about to steal you. Like, you know what would have been dope? If they would have broken to a I'll steal your man and doing it on Jay-Z in front of like Beyonce. That would have been like
shit.
My God. You know what I mean?
But you know they weren't there. Jay-Z wasn't there.
But if
I
that
don't know
would
if
have been
Beyonce
like,
was there.
now that would have been a fucking hip-hop moment. Oh, throwing it back for the ladies, a classic female jam, and we're really fucking playing around, you know.
Speaking of awkward hip-hop moments, though, did you see the Diddy segment?
No, I did not.
Oh.
I was definitely not trying to see that.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh God, what happened?
So, first of all, you got Mary J. Blige. I don't know if she's just really tired or if they're just really fucking up with the cue cards, but it was the most fuck-up laden introduction I've ever seen.
With his vision, we created a whole lane and new genre of music that everybody wanted to do and that everybody is doing now. Let me get to it. I've been proud to call him my friend and my brother for over a decade. No, sorry, over 3 decades, my bad. This man has always been an icon and has done many things. And if we're being honest, there's not one pup who should be called an icon, but many. A billionaire who's had his hand in fashion, restaurant, TV, networks, media, and beverages, just to name a few.
It's like, are we supposed to pop for him being a billionaire? Like, who the fuck gives a shit? Mary! And then even after the performance, she comes back out again and introduces him again to give him the Global Icon Award, and just fucks up again.
I love it. She's like, yeah, that's my man.
Yeah, there
you know
he
what's
is.
Funny? Like, it would be funny if like the people backstage are like, okay, Mary J., we understood you fucked up that first one. Like, you know, you're having a problem with reading tonight. You're a little tipsy, but like we made the card. You know, we put it in like glow pins so you can see it, and it's really big font. You know what I'm saying? We got it. And then she like is like, all right, cool, I got it. And she walks on stage and just immediately drops it. It's like, God damn it.
Again, no disrespect to Mary. She was just doing her thing. But at one point, she says like he's responsible for some of the most like important songs of the last 30 years, and it's like, what the fuck has he done? Like, especially lately. So, he goes through the performance, and the video is just, I'll be missing you, Bad Boys for Life, I Need a Girl, and more. Honestly, that's about it. I mean, he only goes for 8 minutes.
98 to 2002. Yeah. The iconic reign.
Exactly. Like, not a whole lot of highlights. Then, Keisha Cole comes out and performs with them, and didn't sound great. But then, yeah, afterwards, Diddy comes out and he accepts the Global Icon Award, and then he just has 2 people. He has his kids behind him, and then he just has these 2 women dressed in matching outfits who, like, he's just like, thank you so much, this means so much to me, thank you. And then he, like, puts his arms down and he's just like, wait. Wait, hold on a minute.
Hold on, before we go, in true Diddy fashion, I'm a hustler. I got an album coming out this Friday.
It's got the energy of that Insane Clown Posse movie with that one guy who's like, I don't give a fuck, I have to shield my fucking shaving cream or whatever.
It's the most half-hearted sales pitch. And it's like, if the songs are so good, Diddy, why didn't you do any of them in your performance? Like, why couldn't you have given us a sneak peek? And again, MTV knows this, man, because you pull it up on YouTube, they cut that part out. It's like, I love you, MTV. Thank you for believing in me and all the fans around the world. I love you. Thank you. Cut. Hard cut.
And thank you for always being there to promote my music.
It's like that. Oh, wait, hold on. Everybody wait. Sit down. No.
No, stop the music. Stop the music. Wait a minute.
So that whole thing was a clusterfuck.
Oh, God.
The Shakira performance, that was pretty dope. Her montage, because she was accepting the Video Vanguard Award, Oh, I should mention, by the way, introduced by your boy, Wyclef Jean.
Oh, God.
And, well, wait, hold on. he has a great moment coming up. So, he's just
Or he whip out his guitar and play 3 notes.
No. Her performance goes great. Then afterwards, again, she needs to be introduced again like Diddy was, so Wyclef comes out again. And because they did Hips Don't Lie, right? Fucking Wyclef comes out and he's just like,
I'm watching Shakira and all I want to be is like, hey girl, I can see your body moving. And he's driving.
you could tell he wanted to be part of the performance so bad.
Yeah.
So he just
we don't need you in this.
Yeah, it was so like, I could have done that if they would have asked me to, be over there. I could have done that.
I was busy anyway.
I was over here. So that was embarrassing and sad and awkward.
This is what you miss when you don't see it live. This is the, what to really see live shows for. The embarrassing shit that they want to cut out. That's the reason to keep your cable, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, to see Wyclef and Diddy and Mary J. Blige eat their fucking balls on television for everyone to see. Did you see Doja Cat's performance?
Oh, I almost forgot to bring it up. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
I almost didn't even have anything to say, or I was just like, look, she just fucking did that shit. Like,
the one thing that Neb noticed, because we were watching it together, and it was kind of awkward. She starts out in this like this office attire.
Okay. What she was wearing, the secretary or sexy therapist thing.
Yeah.
Look, I had the fucking vapors. I was like, oh my god.
It definitely started out hot, right?
I did not know I needed that.
Very tiny skirt, the little thing, the thing unbuttoned,
with the
very
blonde
cool.
highlights.
Right. Yeah. So she starts out with attention, then does Paint the Town Red, and she kind of starts tearing at her stuff, and all the girls drenched in like blood or whatever are standing in front of her.
Oh yeah, the Carrie looking style, yeah.
And they're doing this whole thing where you see her messing up her hair in the background, and they're all like 3 women deep, standing in front of Doja Cat like, you can't see what's going on back here.
Yeah.
And then finally, they move out of the way to unveil Doja Cat has let her hair down and taken, like, the top shirt off.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, no big costume change like you might have expected.
There definitely was a feel like something was supposed to happen. And they're like, shit, we couldn't do it in time. Fuck it.
For the whole rest of the Demons performance, she's, like, kind of tearing at her shit, but nothing ever really changes. She's, like, trying to unbutton her shirt at one point, and it doesn't open.
Yeah.
So at the end
are we supposed to get something?
At the end of the performance, she's just standing there staring at the audience as they're cheering. And again, it's cut off on the MTV, but it's like a standing O that goes on for like a minute. And every so often, it just cuts back to her, just staring out at the audience like there should have been a bigger ending here. But instead,
I think what happened is these wardrobes are like even tighter knit and whatever than ever because they don't want any mistakes to happen.
Yeah.
So like the shit was so tight she couldn't get out of one of the uniforms in time or some shit. It was like fuck.
So one thing you don't pick up on the highlights here too is how bad the camera work was the whole fucking night.
Oh no.
They kept cutting back to these like handheld cameras that were, I guess, trying to get, like, raw audience reaction shots. But they were so janky. And what was really bad during the Doja Cat performance was they had floor cameras, and these, like, paper, or it was supposed to be money or whatever, starts flying around the room. Because if you saw the Demons music video, it's like a whole big, like, possession type thing.
The paper. That looks so awful to be in the crowd of...
Oh, yeah, because it's just flying everywhere. And so many times, cameras just end up having papers flying and clinging to the fucking lenses. And they're not cutting to the other cameras quick enough. So it's like, you're stuck there just looking at a blurry picture for like a
feel like this is a bad idea right now?
It's like, why are they going to any of the fucking cameras on the floor. That's fucking up everything. And
Oh God.
I gotta say, too, the star of the night in more ways than one. Because Taylor, she ended up
God.
sweeping every goddamn major award. Like,
And the way they kept cutting to her in everything.
Yes! We need Taylor.
The
What's
VMAs
Taylor's
co-starring
reaction?
Taylor Swift. Yeah, what does Taylor think of the winner?
Every fucking time someone's performing or something, is Taylor singing along? We gotta get a picture of her real quick. We gotta cut back to her.
Suck. To be you're going to an award show tonight, but you're not really going there to enjoy it. No, you're going there to have the camera on you to be like,
They fucking cut back to her. It felt like every single performance. And it was funny the couple times she wasn't into it. It was just like, oh, ooh. But they had her.
Thumbs down.
They had her sitting with her bestie, fucking Ice Spice. Like,
Oh yeah, sure.
over on the side, right next to where the acceptance speeches were given. So you would see her in the background of like every fucking
right
shot.
hand woman. Yeah, sure.
So the part where Mary J. Blige is just tripping over every little thing, you just kind of look over and you see Taylor like checking her phone every couple seconds. It's like, oh no. So what's
Man.
I don't want to look into the camera because this is getting really embarrassing.
Right? Like, imagine having to be on the whole night and just like, okay, I can't act like this is interesting, guys.
Folks, we've got an album also. Can you believe it? My
Oh, right.
God.
Overstuffed. Oh, we're going here, we're going there, we're going everywhere.
Chef Boyardee overstuffed ravioli in podcast form. It's so fucking big, y'all. We got so much shit going on. And this week, it's Animal King once again requesting D12 presents Swifty McVay Live Evil Where Evil Live.
What a title.
From 2015.
And what a year for a D12 affiliated album. to
It
come
was
out.
a very good year.
Just to see, like, wasn't the other one that we did also from, like, 2018 or something?
No,
Just recently?
that one was after COVID hit, so that was like 2020.
It's like, when did these guys have the contracts to drop their albums? Like, what is happening?
So and the difference here in the Kaniva album,
How did
He-
Bizarre get his first? I just don't get.
he made a reference of like people asking when the next D12 album's coming out, and I'm like, hey man, don't worry about that shit. I'm doing my own shit. And then you rewind 5 years. Swifty McVay on this album says something like, hey y'all, just wait for the next D12 album because it's gonna be.
Boy.
And I'm just sitting there like, oh no.
This is why, rappers, you can't do this. You can't hype up your next projects
No.
on your previous project. So many rappers do that. Lupe fucking Fiasco. Will he give up his life of crime or will he stay? Tune in next time on the next Lupe Fiasco album. That's definitely happening. L.U.P. End. Anyone remember that one? L.U.P. End? Remember that was supposed to come out?
Like, do you remember watching Mallrats? And the weirdest fucking thing is when at the end of the movie, they're just like, Jay, Silent Bob, and Suzanne will return in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And it's like 3 movies later, you see the fucking orangutan, and it's like, was that just because they fucked that up at the end of Mallrats, and they were like, hey, people are gonna be wondering where that monkey is. We gotta give him that monkey eventually.
Oh, he was in the comic too. We can't just leave that out.
That's true! We're trying to give y'all rap albums more often than not. So, even though we do say it's first come, first serve, we do jump around the request queue a bit, trying to find a rap album from time to time. So sometimes we'll go into the middle of the deck to just try to pick one. But we're starting to run out. I'll be honest with y'all, the list is starting to look more and more like rock and other stuff, so if people want to request rap albums, maybe now's the time. Yeah, because, supplies are limited. But We did just do the other D12 alumni Conniva very recently, so now doing Swifty McVay right off the heels. Just kind of, I guess, he's still fresh in our minds. So when Conniva pops up on this album again, it's like, oh, yeah, You still got that connection. And annoyingly, and again, I don't want to tell the listeners how to spend their money, but I do gotta give y'all, well, I was gonna say a suggestion. It's not a suggestion. It's a plea. Please, if you're going to request a rap album, please make sure that the lyrics are available somewhere. Because yet again, I'm stuck here not being able to follow along because every single song on Genius has missing lyrics.
It's like, okay, there are albums that have lyrics written on these websites, right? Like, why do we keep hitting the ones that don't?
These just happen to be people's favorite albums, RC. People love these, and they are alone in that. You look on Spotify.
Clearly, they're like, no one's even fucking, the websites won't even talk about the lyrics. Someone's got to. Who can we go to? I know, the Going Off crew, if you can find them. And then,
You look up this album, the Swifty McVay album on Spotify. It shows you how many listens the songs have.
Yeah.
Most of these songs, actually, no, I'm just gonna go ahead here and say, there isn't a single song on here that has over 35,000 listens.
Yeah.
This is a deep cut, y'all. Actually, no.
Love request.
The title track has 37.
37?
I wasn't amazed by this album by any stretch.
No, not at all.
No. RC, I don't want to make this entirely one-sided, but I will admit, I don't have a lot of notes here, but when we do get to things I do have notes on, I will chime in.
So, okay, just to, get on with my side of things, as the D12, person who's like, oh, I'm usually able to be like, oh, I can hear the difference in their voices, and I'm usually kind of like, what, usually trying to actively parse out what makes one different from the other, right? Like, basically when you get to Con Artist, Conniva, and Swifty, that's where it starts to get a little shaky on who's who, right? Like, I think Con Artist is more of like the silly, puppy dog kind of guy, and Conniva and Swifty are kind of like, one has a slightly higher Detroit voice and one has a slightly lower deep Detroit voice, you know what I mean? But for Swifty in particular, it was always kind of like, yeah, what made him stand out was usually like the descriptiveness that he would give, it would be like, I wish I had a grenade that I could, squeeze to awake neighbors for acres. And then you hear the blah, blah. It was always that little blah. He's always doing that. But it's so funny how it's just like, oh man, I'm used to hearing Swifty McVay, young, higher voice, slightly higher voice, having Swifty McVay running around like a, ne'er-do-well causing trouble. It's not as cute, like, 30 years later when you can hear the gristle of the old man in his voice, still trying to sound like a ne'er-do-well, going around grabbing girls' asses and smacking people over the face. It's just like, this doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like,
the one thing in that regard that didn't really work for me, how many times you hear the puke sound effect? He's
really
shitting,
scraping the bottom of the barrel of these, Eminem ad-lib,
he's shitting
background sound.
And puking on like every other song. It's like, dude, come on. I'm doing this and then I shit on a face and then I puke on a face. It's like, okay, man.
Oh my god, can I tell you, the first song is so fucking dumb. Okay, so the first song's called Problem, right? And he says like, when I get nauseous, I throw up body parts. Be cautious. You might see me spitting up an armpit.
Boo! That's the only line I have quoted in my notes, because it's so fucking bad. So what was that supposed to mean?
An armpit? Like, you can't even think of an armpit when you think of like what an armpit by itself looks like.
No,
you know, like,
it's just a flap of flesh on its own. The fuck is that?
Yeah, it's so dumb. You might see me spitting up an armpit. And then the way he ends the verse when he's like, I'm throwing up on top of them because I'm a problem. It's like, no, you can't end a verse with a stretching out a word like that. It's so awkward.
I'm a problem.
And is it just me, or are there like, maybe it's just by nature of the fact that I can't like tell how many verses there are, but did it feel like there were a lot of fourth verses in these albums? Or were these songs just going on so long where we would just be like, oh my god, there's more? Like,
They're
like
definitely
just a general exhaustion that would just happen of, oh, this isn't done yet?
They definitely did go on too long sometimes. Yes, I do agree.
Like, I swear to God, it would feel like there were times where it didn't even feel like it was 2 minutes in yet, and it felt like, has the third verse not happened yet? Like, I got that feeling of like, this isn't done yet, you know?
No. You've still got a ways to go.
So many of these songs. Oh yeah, that's what I wrote. Swifty. Oh, he sounds so old now. Like, he sounds like a Black George Carlin rapping. Like, you know, like this weathered old man still trying to do the childhood pranks. Like, he sounds like Dennis the Menace in that Simpsons episode. You know, still trying to fucking, oh, I'm pulling teacher's pants down and leaving, you know, gum on the seat, and all the kids in the class are like, who are you? You don't even go here. You're someone's like uncle or something. You know? Oh man. And then, okay, so, but here's the thing. So when he's trying to be like the ne'er-do-well prankster, he needs to fucking hang it up. But when he does dangerous, you know, descriptiveness, that still kind of hits. So like, Live Evil, Where Evil Live, awful fucking title.
Awful chorus.
Yes. Oh, there's so much melodramaticness in these hooks where it's like, it just feels like the person on the hook is just slightly too close to you, you know, where it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to really make you feel how real this is, but it just feels like, it's just like, all right, back up. You know what I mean? I get it, you know? But I will say, the descriptiveness of Swifty McVay still kind of fucking hits. Like, when he goes, he says, like, there's one part where he says, like, yeah, they hang out in tubs to avoid, like, you know, the gunfire, but they forgot that, you know, AKs eat through bricks, so the shit kicks in through the doors and all that shit. And I was like, holy fuck. And then that other lyric was like, brains in the back seat, sitting in the lap of a mofo who didn't even know they had beef. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then, what was it? It's like, you can only identify him by their teeth. The murderers at the funeral in the aisle, half sleeve. And like, damn. And then policemen hear all this shit on the radio laughing and eating sandwiches. It's like, oh my god. It's just such a bleak world that he paints. I just wish that these hooks and the beats were better. This is
oh god, I know.
Like, these beats, it's such a, oh, you didn't expect an underground rap album to have, like, acoustic music, did you? But it's so, like, you know when Peter Griffin says, like, you know, The Godfather insists on itself? You know? Like, that's what this music is doing. It so fucking insists upon itself, you know? Where it's like, come on, you gotta respect this, though, because, I mean, listen to that real guitar and that real, you know what I mean? Or it's just like, but it's just so hammy, you know?
God, the only beat I actually wrote down that I really liked was the Gooch.
The Gooch? What a title.
Because it had a Biggie sample and it had an Eminem sample.
That was kind of cool.
And I just liked the hi. Like, it just kind of coming through the Eminem hi. It was just that was fun.
I didn't like that. I liked everything up till that. That felt like the, remember guys, I'm related. I'm involved with Eminem.
Because he's in D12, I couldn't help but feel you know, he's not on the album, but he's here in spirit.
Yeah.
But like, if anybody else did that, I don't think we would have had that problem. It would have sounded kind of cool. No, the worst song on this album, though, I gotta say, is Well Known Asshole.
Oh my god!
Because
Oh
Look.
man, at the heart of the fucking bullshittery of the, oh boy, the old man's he's got a crack in his back, but he's still gonna pull out that fucking, whatever the hell that slingshot thing is, and whip one at you.
So, first of all, I so thought this was gonna be like that one Locksmith song where it's like he's taking shots at all these people in the industry, but you know he's not mentioning them by name. That's like it was Famous or whatever.
Yeah.
When I found out that he was the well-known asshole, like, oh my god, no, this is so corny, dude. Please don't do this. But before that, I cannot think of a more whack movie to sample in a rap song than goddamn Spaceballs. And it's such a long clip, too. I can't believe it. How many assholes do we have on this ship? Oh, fucking hell. Fuck out of here.
Man, of all things to sample. And this is so weird, right? This is like a, you know, it was like last time when Con Artist had that, you know, sample of like something that I have on my Acid Pro 7.0 thing. Is like,
oh, yeah.
This is like, whoa, this is like a deep cut movie that I love. Who would expect anyone to sample a Mel Brooks movie? But then there's the second part of my brain where I'm like, why is this here though? Like,
you know, that was so fucking corny.
Oh my god. And it just goes on for so long, belaboring the point like, yep, no, anyone who knows this, they get it.
I didn't need that.
Oh my god. And just say real quick, just the fact that song is called The Gooch. I don't know why it's called isn't the gooch like the flap of skin between your like dick and your asshole? Like what?
It is another name for the taint. That is true.
The taint. Like what? Why is that there? Fucking well-known asshole. And that's what I wrote. The first thing I noted was like, it's these songs right here. That's what I... These songs I can't say. Ooh, I'm grabbing girls' asses just to make them mad, and I'll offer a cop a donut. This is the thing, like, he runs out of, like, things that are actually, like, offensive and, like, oh my god, and it'll just be, like, random stereotype things, like, oh, I'll offer a cop a donut. Like, okay? Like...
I kind of felt the same way when he was, like, cops listening and eating sandwiches. Like, what? Eating sandwiches.
I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, they're so flippant, they don't care about the corruption that's happening, you know?
Well, yeah, but I kind of half expected them to be eating donuts there, too.
Yeah, just the specific, the detail of them, like, eating Subway sandwiches. Like,
they're eating donut sandwiches.
Yeah. And then
they're eating burger donuts.
Oh, that one line, he's like, oh, I'll bang a girl, then vomit on her sofa, then feel up her roommate. It's like, okay, like, you're just so
again,
reaching.
Because he's always puking. He's always puking and shitting all the time.
Like, how... This is something that's so unbelievable. It's like, okay, so you're a guy who's a piece of shit who can't get chicks, so you're just feeling them up and whatever. But you can also get chicks because you're banging her and you're, you know, but afterwards you're feeling up her roommate because you're that type of guy. It's just like, well, which is it? Like, you know... It's just whatever fucking scenario. Then, oh, I'll burp in the first lady's face. Ooh, like this fucking late 90s Mad Magazine panel chicanery. Like, oh, I'll burp in her. Oh, and then I'll vomit. Oh, there'll be a vomit burp in the first lady's face. Oh, so disrespectful. Oh, like, it's just like, who's trying to hear this, you know?
He's pissing, shitting, farting, coming, and puking all the time. That should have been the name of the album.
Yeah, this is the free speech that all these 90s hack comedians still want, you know, like, oh, why can't I still say it? It's like, no one's stopping you from being lame. Just no one wants to hear it anymore because it's not, like, this isn't innovative, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing about this shit, right? It's like, this isn't innovative anymore. In the 90s when it was like, oh my god, civil society, we were just come out of the 80s with all of the super, you know, uptight, you know what I'm saying, majority America, silent majority thing, you know, it's you know, upending the system to say all the words you're not supposed to say, but now it's like, who fucking cares? Edgelords say this shit all the fucking time, you know?
I did like A Day in the Life. I thought it was a pretty good storytelling track, and I liked how, like, the music was sweet compared to how hard and sad the story was.
Yeah.
But whoever they had on the chorus just fucked up the whole vibe for me.
It's that over dramatic, that melodramatic. Like, it's just too much, and it's weird because you think it'd be perfect, but it's like you need this shit to like sit in the right level, or else it starts to feel like parody, right? It starts to feel over dramatic, right? Because it's like what he's saying feels so fucking weirdly intense and specific. Like, yeah, the story, like, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, just a general, hey, watch your back, be a good dude out here, because, you know, if you're following with the wrong crowd, just gonna get fucked up. But like, no, it's just a story about him like trying to get away from this person who's trying to kill him, and it's like, you think he's safe, but the person just keeps following him. Like, it's like he's at a fucking funeral, and, you know, he's just like, oh, I feel like I see a couple assholes, you know, giving me the stink eye, and I'm like, man, even at a funeral, this is bullshit, you know, like, wow, you know. And then like later on, he's at a gas station, and someone comes up to him and is like, hey, can I have $5? And I'm like, oh man, it's a bad situation, and well, it could be someone trying to jump me, and you never know, but hey, maybe I'll give him a check. And then all of a sudden he hears like gunfire. It's like, oh shit, that person was trying to set him up, and he's like, what the fuck? And it's like goddamn, like, this man can't fucking drop his guard even for a second. And it's like, it just felt like it was like wherever he went, there was just someone trying to kill him for some reason. But behind him there was this fucking DTV drama music playing, and it took away the, you know what I mean, the heightening of it, you know. It was so weird. It's so weird in a way where it's like, this feels like the right music to be playing underneath it, but because it slightly overplays the hand, it hits that, you know, trash TV quality feel where it's like, oh, I can't like respect what's happening because it just feels too hokey. Yeah. Then we get Hurt by Love, which this is where I wrote, yeah, the melodrama's getting too much now, okay? So this hook with we've all been hurt by a love. The way that they were like enunciating with that shadow vowel was like, okay, this is too much. And then what is that? This one part where it's like, it just felt like the nod to just getting older, and just like that was kind of cool. Like, when he gets descriptive in a way where it's like you really feel the moment where it's like, when you get older, your body swells up and your cholesterol is saying, yeah, know what? You're working out, but that shit's no luck. Like, that was like oh shit, yeah, I get it. You know, like, oh, life gets harder, right, as you get older. But then, if you pay attention to the verse, it's about him cheating on his wife and catching syphilis from cheating on his wife, but him getting mad about love and how it hurts him, and love is hurting me, but I don't think it's love that made you cheat on your wife and get syphilis. Like, I was like, what? Like, so I was trying to figure out what's happening. And then, oh my god. Oh, yeah, so we get back to that story later. Yeah, it's like a two-parter, because like it comes back again of like the tumultuous relationship he has, and boy, do things not look good in his favor. Like, things just make him look even worse as a person if you pay attention to the details of what's happening. But before we get to that, we get to self-destruction, which is, wow, what a, man, I understand they're trying to do the, you know, rowdy, oh, we're getting rowdy on this hook, but it's just a little too hangdog flow-wise, because, like, something happens where it just feels like, when the hook hits, it just feels like shit's in the wrong key or something, because it just feels like it's just slightly too high in what's happening, and you hear someone in the background, like, so when the hook hits, and then you hear someone in the background going, it's like, we get high, get drunk, like, it just feels like they're going for unhinged, but something feels like slightly too unhinged, like, oh yeah, no, I'm supposed to feel like we're off the hinges on this, like, roller coaster ride, but I'm looking over, and I'm seeing, like, there's actually a latch that has, like, a nail that's off, and I'm like, you know, that's the feeling I got from this song. Oh, man. But then, Doesn't Matter, yeah, that was the one.
Oh, yeah.
That was edited for some reason. We said, the dumb and I was like, what?
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, because this one was, you know, again, more, it sounds more like contemplative for the radio, you know, song. But it was like, I was listening to it, I was like, did they think this one was going to be a hit? Because, like, it's too specific and about something for this to be like, oh, yeah, people can relate to this, you know what I mean? So it was like, what are they trying to clean up their act because they thought this one was going to be the hit song? Like, I thought Here to Party was more likely to be the hit song than that one. You know?
Well, I mean, they did obviously think that too, because they included it at the end of the album, edited for some reason.
Oh my fucking god! I couldn't believe what was happening when I heard "Here to Party" and I hear like, oh, featuring Bizarre and other guy, like, oh, okay, and then I hear, you know, Just See just see like the same title again, and I'm like, wait, but it doesn't have their name on it, and they're like, oh, this must be like the original version or something like that, and it's like, nope, Bizarre's on here and Conniva's on here. I was like, well, then what the fuck? Like,
I don't know why they included that twice. That was really silly.
Album's long enough.
Yeah, we don't need that shit.
It's an hour and 11 minutes. And then, okay, so Past That Feeling was a song I wanted to like. It felt like it was, again, it's like the signifiers of a song it feels like you're supposed to like. And, oh, Jesus Christ. I just want to mention really quick, just Bizarre being the exact predictable guy that you think he's gonna be. Oh, I'm a fucking animal. The girls, they hate me. As soon as I heard hate me, just in my head, I was like, it's gonna be rape me. There's gonna be a line about rape me. And sure fucking enough, I might hear a girl screaming, he raped. And I'm like, like.
And it's fucking 2015, dude. Like, this shit was never okay. But, you haven't changed up your shit in like this whole time.
How is this still entertaining to you? Like, you know, like the
and
same
I think,
fucking joke.
Although I don't know, because I honestly don't remember, because I wasn't paying that much attention because I couldn't. And this totally could fall back on skill issue on me. So, you know, I'm not blaming anyone here. But when an album doesn't have lyrics to follow along with, for like me to read along with, I think I've mentioned this before in another episode. Well, like, I didn't fall asleep this time, but I did fall asleep the other time. Where, like, yeah, if my eyes don't have something to focus on, my brain just shuts the fuck off. But I think someone dropped a F slur later in the album. I think.
Oh, definitely on, because I remember specific. It was on the Gooch. Yeah.
It was on the Gooch. God damn it.
It's like, all of these D12 albums, it feels like we go like the whole album and you think, oh, hey, they didn't, and then it just, it's like, oh, whoops, we forgot.
Yeah, oh no. We had to sneak it in at the last minute.
Oh, how could we forget? We gotta hit you with the classics.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. So going back to it though, cause, what is it? Cause I have to get out there's no other place where I'm going to get out my feelings on these specific fucking songs. So Past That Feeling, it's like a storytelling track, but he's just not putting any flair into the description of this story. Like, it's just such a nothing story about like relationship that seems in general fine. Like, but because he meanders with the details, I'm just so not interested. Like, because it starts off where he's like, well, no, it starts off with the fucking Will Smith sample where it's like, okay. I was like, oh, okay. I read the Willpower book too when I was 15, you know. And you know, and then it starts off with him saying like, you know, it sounds like he's at a roller rink or something like that, or like pulling up in his car at a roller rink or something, because he goes like, oh, I saw a girl drive by, I busted a Yui, oh, she's gone. Well, anyway, then I talked to this other girl, and I was like, wait, what? And then it's like, and then I saw this other girl, and she was pretty cool, but anyway, fuck her, because she wasn't trying to listen to me. So then I saw this other girl, and I was like, wait, you got to like 3 girls now, like, I don't... Like, I'm barely able to pay attention to where you're going with the story. You're not putting any interesting flair in it. And then it's just like, I'm not sure if this is what this story's supposed to be about. You know, where are we going? You've got to give me some sort of track so I can care. This just feels like a guy who's just failing and barely even trying. So I don't know how I'm supposed to care, you know? And then he tries to put a little lyricism into one lyric, but it's just so nothing, where he's like, oh yeah, I'm about to hit on you, girl. This heterosexual grand imperial wanna know where you stand, and I ain't playing. I'm like, oh, how romantic, I guess. It's just like nothing he was saying. Like, everything he's saying just felt like, you know, that the try-hard Capadonna verse, you know, like, your sweet tender touches grow something off the touches of what you for self, like, well, so play me closely. Bitches paranoia for my sting, you want the most of me. Only a hard doesn't want to be calling me cousin. You know, it's like, what is this brag? You know what I mean? It was those type of brags where, I mean, they didn't have the fucking lyrics, so it was like, I couldn't find this one that was interesting enough to write down, but it was like, just everything he was saying just felt like such a, like, why would any chick care about what you're saying right now? You know? Then Ain't Coming Home again, the voice on the hook just didn't sound mixed right. It just felt too
No.
mixed.
What was going on there? It's like they had two people trying to sing along and like they weren't synced up, so it just sounded awkward and weird.
And it's like, because one person did sound fine in the mix, and another person sounded like it was like, why are you here? The other person sounds like they're doing it all right, you know? And this verse, though, I did at least like the song, though, like, what it was about. It was about, like, killing someone and then, like, dealing with the consequences, you know, where it's just like, you know, like, you know, I know what I did was wrong, and, you know, the mom of the person who killed him, you know, threw a fucking pizza at me or something like that, like, he said, I don't give a fuck, you know, and it's like, but, you know, he, like, bowed his head, and was like, no, I deserve this, you know what I mean, I deserve to take this L and sit with it, you know. So I was like, okay, that's something at least, you know. It's like, hey, I ain't coming home, you know. So it's like, I just wish, like, whenever there is a concept song, it's always the best, like, song, you know?
Yeah.
And I just wish he would just focus on it more and actually do, like, a hook that didn't, like, oversell the emotion, you know? And then you get Hard to Breathe, where, oh my god, this was the one so first of all, this acoustic instrumentation, which just makes it sound so phony. It just, like, so overdials the feeling. But then when I hear the story, it's just, it's so over the top that I'm like, I can't help but feel like it matches it, you know? Because, okay, these are the details that I caught. I don't know if you caught what was happening, but it's like,
probably not.
You know, the kids walked in and caught me throwing a bottle of bourbon and missing my wife's forehead, and my kids are saying, "Oh, go to sleep, Daddy, sleep it off." And while I've got a shoe on my wife's neck, and I'm sitting on the couch thinking, "Damn, I should have listened to Oprah." And I'm like, it's like, "Oh, but good ass pussy don't keep you focused." And I'm like, I don't think that's the problem, guy. I don't think it's the pussy's just so good I couldn't focus. Oh, man. And he's like, oh, my nose was open, but I was closed to it because of your motives, and it's impossible to smell your roses because it was a thorn in my side. Like, what? Like, you sound like you're trying to abstractify shit to try to, in some way, be like, oh, well, both of us are. And I'm like, nah, bro, what? You don't just throw out, I just missed you with a bottle of bourbon and put a fucking goddamn shoe on your neck and have to be like, look, when it's these type of things, like, you know, Eminem was usually pretty good about, like, making it, like, as clear as possible that the violence was at best mutual, you know, like, things happening, right? Where it's like, oh, you know, you thought because you were a girl you could just slap me, and so that was fucked up, and so now I'm reacting to that, and it's actually because you cheated on me first, and da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Like, Eminem, like, sets it up to be like, you would understand why I'm mad, right? You know? With this, it's like, you just threw me in the scene with what? You just got done throwing a bottle of bourbon that just missed your wife's. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this information, you know? And I'm like, and then afterwards trying to be like, oh man, when pussy gets you caught up. I'm like, fucking excuse me? Like, what? And
no.
Can I tell you something? That doesn't prepare you for how the song ends. Because then it's like, after all of that, I'm like, oh my god, after all of this awful shit that this man is completely needs to be away from this woman, the detail that you finally get is, oh, I closed my eyes and, you know, I'm willing to accept my fate until I see that bitch paid my bail and apologized, and I don't know why. And I'm just sitting here cold, just like, with this information just in my head rent-free now. This woman that you just did all of the things that you described just paid your bail and let you out, and I there's no more detail after that. We're just left in like, okay.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah, I'm like, what in the fuck is happening, man? And it's not, like, very clear that, like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. I'm such a piece. You know what I mean? It's not like a, wow, can you believe that I could have been this for? You know what I mean? It's not like a, oh, I've come out on the other end and this is what I was. It's like a, maybe this just happened last week, you know, like.
Right.
Oh, man. And then we get Getting Dirty. And if I was sick of the fucking acoustic real sounding fucking beats, maybe you're tired of that. Maybe you need the fake. Maybe we need to lean into the fucking digital 2007 fucking production sounding chip tunes, BlackBerry phone sounding shit. Jesus Christ. Oh, and this is the one where he said this was the most confusing. Again, he's fucking Dennis the old ass menace. Dennis the curmudgeon. Like, I was an A student, always feeling on asses in classes. Bitches was afraid to report sexual harassment.
Ew.
Like, wait, so you were an A student, but you were also like, you know, because usually it's like, oh, I'm a piece of shit and I don't care about class and I'm feeling up the teacher. But you're a student that's doing well, and it's like this paints a different picture. This is like, oh, the guy's doing well, and well, we don't want to make waves with the guy who's raising up our, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, this is worse. Like, and then, but again, this is the thing where he's also trying to play both sides, where he's like, oh, but I'm also getting pussy. Chicks are giving me pussy for free because I'm just that cool. But I'm also the loser who has to feel up chicks. Like, what? Like, you know? And then he mentions, like, oh, I roofied a girl just to steal her wallet, though. Like okay. And then there's another line where it's like, oh, I'll stalk a woman on Wall Street just to get all her cheese. And it's like, like, doesn't that feel a little underwhelming from where you thought that was gonna go? Like, I'm gonna stalk a woman on Wall Street, like, oh God, he's gonna, you know, stab her in the ass and then throw her off of the building, you know, to recreate the 1920s stock thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that would have been something, but oh, I'll stalk her on Wall Street just to get all her cheese. Like, okay, you know, like, you could have done that to anybody, not just someone on Wall Street. You know.
And again, I guess by like 2015, your expectations are just kind of just like, that is like would be like basic but like acceptable some years ago, but not so much those now. Guys, right?
Yeah. And then No Love, another I'm cool and I don't care because the city's dark and blah blah blah. It's a bleak life and whatnot. And then Funeral, cool beat. I thought that this was the best beat on the fucking album because it was so goddamn epic. But it was just a bunch of empty threat raps. The most interesting thing was the hook of him. And I feel like it's the thing where it's like, this is the most interesting thing of him saying, oh, I'll go to your block and shoot up your funeral, you know? Like that's the really, you know, hyperbolic thing that he says he'll do. But it's like, at this point, as someone who's listened to D12 songs, like, you know, that's supposed to be like, oh my God, can you believe this ne'er-do-well, this evil guy would shoot up your funeral? But it's like, I could swear I've heard at least like 12 lines about, oh, a place that's sacred, but I'll do something not, you know, profane there. Like, it's like the best ones are where it's like specifically descriptive, right? Where it's like, oh, you know, I'll fuck up your pallbearers, you know what I'm saying, who are carrying your thing. Like, that's specific of like, oh, they're carrying your coffin and I'm kicking them in the stomach. Like, oh, that's something.
I'm just still giving them the stone cold stunner as they're carrying the coffin.
Right, like, I can't let you rest even in death. But like, when it's just like, oh, I'll just throw a bomb at your funeral, it's like, okay, like, will you? Is that what you're gonna do? Like, are you really? Like, you know, and also, like, the person's dead. They don't know. They can't see it happening.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. You know? Who gives a fuck?
Although I find that really funny, the reciprocal thing of like, oh man, I'll go to your funeral and shoot you the fuck up. I don't give a shit. And then earlier, he's got the song about like, man, I don't know why people don't go to funerals and why people don't respect people anymore. I was just at a funeral and someone was giving me the evil eyes. Like, I don't understand why things gotta be like this. It's like, motherfucker, you were just... Like, is this like some sort of, you know, Buddhist Zen thing where it's like, oh no, I am the guy who does the thing, but I'm also the guy, like, you know, who's on the other side of the situation. Like, what is happening with this album?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then, now, again, the story raps are where this album fucking shines.
Agreed.
Fuck that. That was, like, again, it's like, it's a bit of an aimless story, but at least it's a cool story where it's like, he gets, again, this man cannot go to any fucking gas station. he is just, it's fucking on site. This guy just got one of those faces.
He's got a very punchable face, a very shootable face.
Like, I think it's just, you know, sometimes like, hey, sometimes someone just confuses someone with someone else. I think he just got like generic enough of a face where it's just like, hey, isn't that guy?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like he just can't catch a break. So, and you know, maybe it doesn't help that you keep going to people's fucking funerals and shooting people up. You know, you ever think some of the energy is just coming back on you, man?
Yeah, you got a reputation, and you can't be mad at them for that.
Yeah, like, oh, the Woe Is Me song about how we got problems in the hood, but I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing. It's like, okay, but what you're doing is contributing to it. Like,
yeah.
We've got to start facing our demons, man. And the demons are really obvious, man. You know, it's not like subtle things, you know? It's not like I don't understand why this is happening. It's a very one-to-one thing. Oh, man. Just go 1 week without randomly shooting up a funeral and just see what happens the next time you go to a funeral. Just see what happens.
See what happens. Just give it a try.
Oh, the reciprocal violence never ends. But yeah, fuck that is at least a fun one. Because it's like, okay, he almost gets robbed at gunpoint. Then he runs off to a party, and then, you know, a girl dances on him. Then this one guy comes up like, oh, what the fuck? That's my girl dancing on, you know what I mean? And every time in the situations, he's just like, you know, should I, like, chill? Should I not do the thing that I want to do? Fuck that.
Fuck that. Yeah. I liked the whole approach and the whole thing of the song. Like, yeah, it itself was whatever, but it was different. And I guess I just appreciated, he's going for something funny and unique here.
And it's kind of like, oh, is this why Detroit is the way it is? Because everybody's just going, man, fuck that. This is the mentality that's keeping you down. And then the one lyric, I did like the one lyric that he says, like, man, you know, you can't just, like, help anyone out here because, you know, it's like, yo, man, like, you know, it'll be someone in preacher's clothes that'll have you face down in a church, beat up, tied up to an organ. Well, anyway, like... Just the way he just goes, like, the way he's so casually, like, man, motherfuckers in the D ought to really be down bad. Because, like, the way he just so casually talks about it, like this is a fucking, you know, catastrophe call of, like, we've got to do something about this. This is like a fucking call for help of, like, yeah, man, you know, in Detroit, like, you can't trust preachers because, like, they could also be someone trying to get, it's like, wow, they're, like, if it gets this bad, we've got to do something. When the common thief on the street feels that they need to stoop so low, and it is so casual that they are stooping so low, to steal from a preacher and take his clothes, to rob from other people, like, shit is bad, man. Like,
you gotta declare a state of emergency at some point.
I could never be the president of a country and hear that is happening in my country and just be like, nope, steady as she goes, people, everything's fine.
Like, what can I do?
Right, wow, what are you gonna do? Look, there's just some things you have to deal with when you're running a country. Like, no, that can't just be collateral damage. Like, where the common man can't trust his fucking local preacher.
Nah.
Oh, man. And then we get the gooch and oh my god, the line, I'm not your ordinary type of rapper, bro. You're a Caitlyn Jenner at a fashion show. It wasn't even Swifty McVay that said it. It was just this other asshole. It's like, who the fuck
is that guy? Is that the same guy who was, like, fucking up the vibe in that earlier song, just being, like, Mr. Super Aggro, just, like, throwing off the vibe of the chorus?
Yeah, I don't know.
It sounded like it, I don't know.
The way they end the song and the album, where one of them says, like, oh yeah, this is the hardcore shit, edgelord rapper, and this is what I'm gonna end it on. Oh, I'm gonna send you to the opposite of God, bitch. It's like, what
no.
Are you afraid to say the devil? Like, why? Like, you know what I mean?
Wow, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's such a dumb, like, oh, I'm gonna send you to HE double hockey sticks. Like,
oh.
Oh man,
that sucks.
I give this a 1.5. This is
whoa!
fucking bullshit.
Holy shit! Wow.
This is fucking trash.
I was not expecting that. I actually walked away with a 3, but that's only because I gave the songs pretty average ratings.
Generous Muse over here.
I mean, I guess it really did benefit from not having the lyrics, because I think if I was able to read along more, I would have quoted more, and I probably would have hated the songs more.
And really absorbed how awful some of these songs were.
Yeah, because, like, again, I gotta admit, my brain kind of does tend to zone out. And when I zone out, the albums get a pass. So Swifty McVay passes on a technicality.
Right in
but,
the middle. Right in the... It didn't disturb me one way or the other. That's still not a compliment.
You mind your P's and Q's, Buster, because my eyes are on you. But folks, that about does it for this action-packed episode of Going Off Podcast.
Podcast smasher.
Big thanks to Changeline for joining us earlier in the episode here. That was a long time in the making, and the interview, whatever you wanted to call it, discussion segment, went even better than I expected it would, and I definitely want to try to get her on the show again sometime in the future just to shoot the shit. She definitely vibed with the whole feel of the show, just kind of natural fit. So that's always cool to find. Make sure to check her out. The album, Looking at My Damn Ceiling Again, is streaming on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, every fucking where. And if you want to follow her on TikTok for the update videos, I recommend that too. But if you have an album that you would like to request for a future episode of the show, you head on over to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/
I did the slash guitar bit from Black or White.
Was that him?
I think so, yeah. Because I think Michael Jackson.
Oh my god, you're right.
I think Michael Jackson is a dude where it's just like, if I get you, you're the guy who does this now.
Wow, okay. / going off GOINOFF to request an album to be reviewed on a future episode of the show. I think we upped the price a little bit because the queue was getting a little unruly again.
Someone just did a double request and we're like, okay.
We got to keep it in line somehow, and that's really the only way we know how.
Demand skyrocketed. You all saw it.
You all saw it. You all took part. But anyway, we will get to all your requests sooner or later. And you make sure to follow us on all our socials. We got the Twitters, we got the Patrons, we got the individual Ko-fis, all that good stuff. We got all the links in our link trees in the description. Whether you're listening to us on Spotify or watching us on YouTube, it should be down there.
That's right, and if you go to patreon.com/rapcritic, you can support your boy with the specific things that I'm doing over there for the ongoing donations. So, yeah, Ko-fi is for the one-time donations for requests for Going Off, as well as for Ko-fi.com/rapcritic if you want to request a movie for my Review a New podcast, or a song for my main show that I do, or as well for a live stream, because we be kicking it with these live streams. People be making requests, and I be getting down with these absolute best ofs. Oh man, we are having a good ass time. The next one I've got requested is Elton John, and oh boy, are we gonna be, man, this man had nothing but banger after banger. And then I'm going to be ending it on The Road to El Dorado, because we had to throw some respect on that soundtrack's name that is not on fucking Spotify. And you know what I mean by it's not on Spotify. The fucking cool movie versions of the song aren't on Spotify. The album version, that's the the Peebo Bryson fucking covers of the songs from the Disney movie.
Yeah,
those are on Spotify. But it's like, no, I want the version with the Spanish guitar and shit. They don't have that on Spotify. So we're gonna be making sure that people get that and getting that on the playlist, and then will be made available afterwards on the Patreon at patreon.com/rapcritic, where you can chat with me and fellow fans on the Patreon Discord and all that fun sexy stuff. I gotta remember to do my shilling for the stuff that I have.
Gotta remember to do your dance at the Space Jam.
That's right. Jump through the hoop.
Whoa.
But no. But yeah, remember that was a Family Guy with Stewie.
You can't quote Family Guy twice in this episode. Don't.
What was the other one? Oh no, I'm over Family Guying. This is what I do in real life, and I'm spilling it up.
You quoted the fucking, what opinion would have you like this? Fucking Peter Griffin haven't watched The Godfather or didn't like The Godfather.
It insists upon itself, Lois. Oh my god. But any fucking way. Let's wrap this up. Get the fuck out of here.
That is it for Going Off with Rap Critic and Muse. Thank you very much for spending your time with us. It means so much. But until the next episode, until then, I'm Muse.
And I'm Rap Critic, and pick up the pace. I'm sick of shaking my booty for these fat jerks. Oh yeah, by the way, Royal Jelly, I got a new song. It's on Spotify, so go check that out. Royal Jelly, look it up. It's a new song. Get with it, act like you want it. Woo.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
There you go.
How enthusiastic. Ric Flair would be jealous. Keep that all.